What is intentional escapism? Is it walking? Is it drawing? Is it writing? Is it becoming financially free? Or is it all of those things? That is what we're going to talk about in episode 25 of the Jason Locke podcast. Why everything I talk about comes back to intentional escapism. Hello, thank you for watching. My name is Jesse. So, what is intentional escapism? So, my personal definition is finding a way out of the topics in life that are not good for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health, and just finding a way to escape from them in an intentional manner, whether that is for recreational use of or becoming more healthy so that you have more freedom, or more financially stable so that you can become more free. Of course, you would likely notice that I mentioned a lot of topics. But why so many different topics? So far in my podcasts, I talked about a couple of them. You've seen me draw, you've seen me walking, which I this beautiful Spanish day in Bilbao. It is hot and hazy. Intentional escapism entails a lot of different activities. So what it's not, of course, is escaping in mechanisms that are maybe fun or a relief in the short term, but eventually are detrimental to your health or your financial situation or your social situation. Think about using certain substances or going to the casino too often. Intentional escapism is none of that, and I realize there is when you type in escapism, it's usually got like a negative sort of it's usually a negative topic that is being discussed, like how that escapism is bad, and they should do it, for example, to cope with something else, or that is not good for you, that you should avoid escapism, and unhealthy gaming habits, or unhealthy substance use habits. I want to provide a counterpart with that with my podcast, and just talk about the positive sides or the positive methods that provide escapism. That can be, like I said, it can be a variety of topics, each probably like with a little bit different intention. Like if you just feel stressed or a lot of anxiety, it's fun to escape a little bit in some healthy walk, or in making a drawing. But for me, it's more than that. It is also just sort of escaping the increasingly busy, expensive, stressed out, and often nefarious system we find ourselves in these days. And both things I mentioned, so like the drawing and the physical activities, and that part, the escaping the system part, those are both of my interests. And so that's why I thought okay, maybe I can just combine it as a thread, as a sort of wholesome escapism experience, in which we focus on different aspects within that circle. They are expressions of the same goal, and that goal is creating more freedom for yourself, or more agency, and becoming a more independent human who is able to successfully escape. So You just anxiety, messing with your head, you know where to go in a creative fashion, maybe by writing, or in a physical activity fashion, no, maybe by walking. Even that I am not a financial expert or doctor or something. Yeah, I hope I can also provide you some thoughts on my experiences related to dealing with health or financial situations, personal experiences. Disclaimer, yours could be totally different, so do your own diligence. Don't believe me on my eyes or my words. Always think critical and seek help from actual experts or professionals if what you're looking for is, of course, goes deeper than the sort of the baseline what I can provide you, baseline tips and tricks. I'm mostly talking about myself, documenting how I deal with it myself, so it's very much a personal situation. But yeah, maybe you can relate to that or find some common things in it. That is why I sort of like love to talk about it in a initially in a very broad form. Maybe I narrow it down a little bit more. I recently got the idea of just really focusing on what I'm actually in my personal life I focus on, so it maybe becomes a little bit more of a vlog, how to say it, or more personal. You know, if I'm at those moments I'm more busy with health, which I am now, for example, I talked about that in my previous episode, then it will probably be more oriented at that. And then the next time it could be maybe some more focus on how I'm getting rid of debts and stuff like that. So keeping it broad, but by tying it and sort of using the intentional escapism topic as the glue, sort of have that overarching cover or umbrella that makes me make sense of all those seemingly unrelated topics. Yeah, helps me to sort of discuss them in a more broader, wholesome way, and also helps me deal with it personally in a more framed way, instead of always going left, right, and it's hard if you have like many different interests to find, like especially if you want to do a podcast or something. And in that regard, I would be very interested in how you guys see this. Like, do you guys think like that all those topics are really related to intentional escapism, or am I taking it too broad? And I'm interested to hear about that, so that I can better serve you with my content in the future and have some stuff to think about. So yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments what you see under intentional escapism, what you use to intentionally escape, what it means to you personally. With that said, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. One last thing I would like to mention is that it's one thing I find interesting with intentional escapism is, of course, also a double-edged sword. On the one hand, intentional escapism isn't about escaping life, but on the other hand, it's about creating a life for yourself that you don't actually constantly want to escape from. So intentional escapism, to conclude, for me, it isn't about escaping life, but it is finding escape mechanisms that help you live a more healthy and happy life. and a more curious one, not being held prison by the cage of certain thoughts or systems, or just about being open-minded and experimenting, and make yourself strong, becoming autonomous and financially free, healthy, so that you can do all the things you really want to do instead of constantly being trapped in a rat race. I think if I want to conclude the episode of today, that would be sort of, if you say like one sentence, it would probably intentional escapism is escaping the rat race we're all in, because we're not necessarily want to be in. You know, yes, life will continue, but we need to make it in a way that we have agency over it ourselves. I see a lot of moments happening in my own life or with others that agency is not really there. Even sometimes if we think it's there, we're still being controlled in many ways. And I sort of start to open my own eyes and open other people's eyes to show them that it can also be different, and that you don't always have to be stressed or weak or anxious. That you can be free, or at least as free as possible. And it will take a lot of work, but hey, that's the fun part of it, right? So stay tuned for the future episodes, guys. Thank you so much for watching again. If you liked this episode, if you thought the information was valuable, I would appreciate it if you, wherever you see it, give it a like, give the episode a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me, and if you're watching an Apple podcast, I would very much appreciate it if you leave me a review. All of those things help me a lot, guys. And thanks again. You keep me going, you keep me motivated. I love doing it, and I hope to explore with you all together how I can make this every episode a little bit better and a little bit more insightful than the next one. And with that said, I'll leave you for today. I hope you all have a beautiful day as well. On this 15th of June, it's a hazy day. It's a little bit beginning to become cloudy. Peace, my fellow travelers. See you in the next episode.